Election officials have seized 9 crore rupees from Bellary. The cops seized the money after they raided the residence of a man named Babulal based on a tip-off. A huge amount of cash being taken in from a man named Babulal there, 9 crore rupees in all. It was the cops who seized this particular money. It is understood that the election officials conducted a raid on his residence based on a tip-off and found this huge amount of cash stashed in cupboards. Of course, it is suspected as of now that this particular money was being distributed to voters, and based on several tip-offs, the Election Commission came knocking on Babulal's door. As of now, of course, he has not been able to provide the necessary documents, so he will be questioned on his role. It looks like Babulal was a middleman of sorts, wherein he would keep the money and then go ahead and distribute it on behalf of different political parties. But we're talking about a huge amount of 9 crore rupees there. As you can see, the officials have now seized the cash as well. So many such incidents coming to light. In fact, even yesterday, we saw about 1.5 crore rupees being taken in by the election officials after they went ahead and found the money stashed in a particular car. This was in checkposts, but of course, the EC has been rather active in going ahead and not just putting up checkposts and checking cars as well as other vehicles that come in to Bengaluru, that come into Karnataka late in the night, but also are going ahead and raiding several houses based on the tip-offs that they have been getting from different sources. Remember, only yesterday we saw one such raid going on with Somanath, the BJP leader, going ahead and slamming the EC for the surprise raid. But this time around in Bellary, such a raid has definitely paid off, as the EC officials have managed to bust yet another election racket, this time seizing 9 crore rupees, which definitely would have been distributed to many people, and of course would have been used to woo voters.
Still gas code avakash
ಇದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಸರ್.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿಂದೆ ಕ್ಯಾಮೆರಾ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಚಲ ಅನಿರುದ್ಧ एक मिनट
Well, the person you see on your screens is Babulal, and it is in his house that they found that huge amount of cash, a big catch for the Election Commission there, and they will be rather relieved that they managed to seize all this money, in fact, before it was distributed to different people to go ahead and woo them to vote for the respective political party. Of course, the officials are yet to go ahead and confirm whether in fact it belonged to any political party as such, but it is the biggest cash seizure in the lead up to these elections. Initially, the officials found just 5 crore rupees as the family members refused to open the safes. The officials later came back armed with a search warrant and found an additional 4 crore rupees as well as gold biscuits. So, sniffing a rat there, the officials reached Babulal's doorstep. However, his relatives refused to let them go ahead with their investigations, go ahead with their raids without the search warrant. Initially, the officials did manage to find 5 crore rupees, but knowing, of course, that it did not stop with that there was a lot more money that they were talking about, they went ahead and got an authorized search warrant, which they then used to go ahead and find the rest of the money. They found another 4 crore rupees as well as gold biscuits. So this is definitely the biggest cash seizure till date with the run-up to the elections, and of course the officials will be very relieved, of course, that they managed to nab this particular man, seize all this money before it was distributed. We're not talking about a small amount by any measure there. In fact, all of these officials turned up soon after they realized that this is definitely a big fish. Initially finding 5 crore rupees, the relatives of Babulal refused to go ahead and let them go ahead and search the house, but soon after they got the official search warrant, and that's when they found 4 more crores, and besides that also found a couple of gold biscuits. Officials there going ahead and registering a case against Babulal. He is being questioned as of now with regard to where exactly he got the money from and who he was planning to distribute it. Also, of course, what the officials will want to look into is whether in fact he had already distributed a huge amount of cash, considering that he had about 9 crores with him. It will come as no surprise if he has already managed to distribute a couple of crores. Babulal, as of now, refused to give a statement to the media, but of course he has been taken into questioning by the officials to find out exactly who gave him such a huge amount of money. Definitely the biggest catch till date. My colleague Verghese joins us with more information. Verghese, a huge seizure there by the election officials. Any word on exactly how they found out that Babulal was in fact holding such huge amount of cash?
Well, what we know at present, Akshita, is that there was a tip-off that was given to the election officials, and based on the tip-off is when they were able to, in fact, raid Babulal's residences and offices. In fact, there were 3 places in which they had raided, and one was his office, and which was next to Sudarshan Lodge, and the other one was next to Hospete, and the 2 houses next to Hospete. Now, in the process, what they found out is that they were able to recover around 5 crore rupees, and this is unaccounted money. So when in the first raid, they had 5 crore rupees, but then the family, in fact, stopped the election officials from actually searching the bureaus or the safes in the house, and because of this, they had to, for temporary reason, they had to withdraw from the house with their search. But then they immediately got a search warrant done, and the safes and other things were opened, and we found and what they found was that there was an additional 4 crores that was in fact taken, was there of unaccounted money that was there in all these safes that are there in these 3 places. So after that, the EC officials came to know that there are around 9 crores of unaccounted money, and this person is quite famous in the area with regards to the kind of money deals he is doing. And this person, Chor Babulal, in fact, he has an intensive network of money lending, and there is also an intensive network of people who keep who have safes with regards to this. So this money now, what the election officials and the police are trying to figure out is that does Babulal actually have hold over all this money, or is it that he is doing what he was doing was safekeeping this money? These are the questions that are before them, and they are trying to figure out whether this Babulal has more money in stock, because initially in fact, he refused after the first 5 crores were seized. In fact, he and his family refused them to search the other places without a search warrant. Now, when they came with a search warrant, they were able to additionally recover around 4 crores more. So they are in fact searching the place thoroughly, especially the 3 places that have been given as a tip-off. But they're also trying to figure out whether there are additional safe houses where money has been stored. So this amount could actually become a little more bigger, Akshita.
Right, Verghese. Also, do we know if Babulal has been taken into custody as of now?
Well, at present, after the initial, the EC officials are taking documentation of all the money that is there and unaccounted money that is there. After that, probably he will be taken, and probably his associates also will be taken into custody for interrogation, Akshita.
Right, Verghese. Also, of course, we're talking about a huge amount of cash there, about 9 crore rupees. It definitely highlights the need for election officials to be a lot more vigilant during these times before the elections.
Well, Akshita, they have been, in fact, a lot of vigilance. Yesterday in Bengaluru itself, they seized around 1.5 crores, and especially in next to the Maharashtra and Karnataka border, there's been several seizures from 20 lakhs to, in fact, 78 lakhs. So there is a lot of seizures that are being taken into consideration. But, of course, this is a very stealthy operation, and only when there are leakages from the networks of these people do you get an information with regards to the amount of money that is being stored or that could be used. So it is a very difficult exercise as such, but it seems that the election officials are on it, and there's the police intelligence wings also in part of this, so that they'll be able to crack such networks in the state during elections, Akshita.
Right, Verghese, thank you so much for joining us with all that information. But this is by far the biggest seizure we've seen so far by the election officials. This was in Bellary, where a man, Babulal, is said to have kept about 9 crore rupees in cash, as well as a couple of gold biscuits. The officials have gone ahead and taken him in for questioning. All this money has also been taken in. Of course, they will try to find out if there is more of this cash stashed anywhere else. This was in Babulal's residence, and of course there's a strong chance that there is a lot more money stashed elsewhere as well. And moving on, if you're a smoker, you must already know it causes cancer. But if you have tried e-cigarettes in the hope that it's not as injurious as cigarettes, then this report might make you reconsider.
We all know how dangerous smoking cigarettes can be. Each day we see advertisements speaking of the dangers of smoking tobacco. Even cigarette packets these days come with warnings. Several people in the hope to quit smoking have moved to the recent discovery called e-cigarettes. E-cigarettes were introduced claiming they contain only vapor and have no harmful effects on the human body like tobacco. Though this was speculated before, a recent research will leave you stunned. E-cigarettes may lead to cancer. A recent experiment examining the biological effects of e-cigarettes found strikingly similar gene mutations in lung cells as those found in smokers. Scientists at the Boston University grew bronchial cells in mediums exposed to e-cigarette vapor and compared them to bronchial cells grown in a medium exposed to tobacco smoke. The research revealed that the gene mutations in both sets of cells, although not identical, were similar. E-cigarettes may be safer, but our preliminary studies suggest that they may not be benign. This means that although e-cigarette vapor is tobacco and tar-free, and that the device does not require combustion, it could potentially increase a user's risk of cancer. We could not confirm or deny that e-cigarettes cause cancer, as the research is in its early stages. Further experiments are planned. Well, according to research, it seems that e-cigarettes too are certainly not the way to go. A News9 report.